This just in, total domination from the Spurs with that guy Wemby leading the way. 21 points, 11 rebounds in the first half alone. We knew he was hungry to get back on the court, and he finishes with 27, 17 boards, 5 assists, the blocks. They cruise through Game 5 on the way to Game 6. And with that, we welcome in NBA analysts Noah Bono and John Gonzalez. Noah, you said the Spurs were going to have extra motivation from the pressure of not wanting to face an elimination game on the road. You also said we get an all-timer from Wemby. Spot on, my friend. They showed up with urgency from tip-off. What did they prove to you tonight?
They proved that they're ready for the moment. I think like when you win a game like this, you kind of solidify yourselves as like taking the next step. Now, they haven't won the series yet, but honestly, to me, the first 6 minutes of the game told me everything I needed to know. Wemby didn't have a chance to have that comeback game after his big Game 3, after getting suspended in Game 4. He had 16 points in the first 6 minutes tonight in the first quarter. We talked earlier for some betting segments. Could he get over 6.5 in the first quarter points? He blew that out of the water, and Rudy Gobert couldn't guard him. Seeing him run the floor in transition and just like a gazelle, a giraffe, I don't know what to compare him to, just seeing him streamline it down the middle of the floor, and he either wants to dunk your face off or he's throwing it out over the top of two guys. Like, he is the leader, and I think the emotional maturity and awareness of the moment, everybody feeds off his identity. And this is a young group with no playoff experience for the most part that looks like they have playoff experience. And I think you got to credit Victor Wembanyama, Mitch Johnson, the guys running the ship right now, and everybody else. De'Aaron Fox stepped up in a big way tonight. I've been hard on him all series for him to just be himself. But the decisiveness from all these guys, starting with Wemby, was phenomenal.
Yeah, this is the Wemby that we kind of expected to see in this game that the Wolves were fearing, right? Where he gets bounced out of the last game, he gets ejected. People are talking about his emotions, whether or not he's soft. Mitch Johnson saying that they hadn't protected him. And you're like, all right, this guy is unbelievable. He's going to finish top 3 in the MVP voting. Let's see what he's got tonight. And tonight he had way too much for the Wolves to handle, where he goes for a monster double-double. He's got the blocks. They absolutely dominated the paint tonight, no small part due to Wemby. And Noah's right. The rest of the guys sort of feed off of that, right? Fox looked better tonight. Castle was fantastic and efficient. Sometimes that's a little bit of a problem for him. He was playing great defense as well. You got Keldon Johnson, 6th man of the year, scoring big off the bench. Dylan Harper, when we're talking about some of these guys not having playoff experience and playing well beyond the years, let's go to Dylan Harper. He looked great tonight too. And if you're the Wolves, man, I mean, like, you get, 39 minutes out of Ant, and you're thinking, okay, that's great, right? Except for Ant looks sort of limited. He was talking about how he's only at 60%, and the Spurs just absolutely overwhelmed them. And yes, it's going back to Minnesota for Game 6, and if you're the Wolves, you're thinking, okay, maybe that'll help us, but I don't know. I'm looking at the wins that the Spurs have had in this series, and they have 2 blowout wins, including tonight, and 1 win that was really comfortable, and the 2 wins for the Wolves were both squeakers. Like, they had to just eke them out. So right now, full advantage to the Spurs.
John, you liked the Spurs heading into this game. I know you guys talked about this pregame, but you did say 10.5 points as a favorite felt disrespectful. And we did see Minnesota come back from down 18. They had the big third quarter. They tied it up, but they struggled to build on that momentum. I'm just curious at what point did you think, yeah, maybe the odds makers weren't as far off as I thought?
Yeah, pretty early on, right? I mean, it never really felt like the Wolves were going to climb back into this thing, and it would probably be different if you had, fully healthy Anthony Edwards, right? Or at least it would be a little bit more competitive, because as I mentioned, in the 2 wins that the Wolves had, they really kind of had to steal those games. They won Game 1 by 2 points. They won Game 4 by 5 points. And we're talking about being disrespectful to the Wolves because they have made it to back-to-back Western Conference Finals. That's not nothing, right? Anthony Edwards is one of the best players in the world. He's a really good player, and that team is pretty good. Yes, they lost Dante DiVincenzo, but they still have Jaden McDaniels, Julius Randle. Ayo Dosunmu was really good tonight, and none of it mattered because they had no answer for Wemby, and then beyond that, the rest of the Spurs were just so much better. So it's not about so much being disrespectful to the Wolves as saying, hey, man, the Spurs, they were so good all season. Now they're really good in the postseason. And they have been the better team than the Wolves all year long and in this series.
So Ant finishes with 20 points, just 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Noah, we said he's not 100%, but whatever percentage he has to come and give that his all. What did you see from him tonight?
Well, it was a bummer because when he draws those double teams and then he gets rid of it at half court, all of a sudden it turns into a 4-on-4, and he doesn't bother cutting back down into the lane or moving towards the three-point line and involving himself in some action after getting off the double team. And I think that then slows down the Minnesota offense because you're looking for other options. But Julius Randle, nowhere to be found. You can't win a series if Julius Randle is struggling the way he's been struggling. And that's unfortunate because it just plays into the hand of the San Antonio Spurs when we know, hey, if we just take Ant out of the game, we're really not going to have to worry about much here. That's what was the catalyst in their blowout in game 2. It's the catalyst for tonight when you just disrupt him and make him uncomfortable. A guy that's playing on, 2 knees that don't even equal 150%. He's a 60% on each, I guess, is what he's talking about. So very hobbled, and they took advantage of it. I think overall, it's playing a disadvantage the longer this series goes, of which inevitably, I thought would go a minimum of 6, and I thought it would go 7 before coming into tonight. But now seeing just what they were able to do to Ant and how they were able to speed him up and make him pick it, not let him pick his spots in a way that he's so accustomed to, and everything was tough for him. I just think with the way he's hobbled, it's just bad news to get into a game 6, a game 7. I don't know how much he's going to be able to extend it out because Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, should I keep going? These guys just create so much havoc and so much problems on the perimeter on him, not to mention you're trying to score over the top of Victor Wembanyama if you can even get by that on-ball defender and then the rest of the help guys on perimeter. So it's just a tough road ahead for Ant, especially because he's injured. And it's just unfortunate that he's not 100%. Even if he was 100%, though, I don't think they'd make it out of this series, seeing what I've seen.
Yeah, the team's shooting sub 40. They made 9 threes all game. John Gonzalez, it's simply not going to do it. It's pretty simple math there. Noah mentioned a possible game 7. Do you think we get that as this series heads back to Minnesota?
I'd love to say that for Wolves fans because they have been so resilient in the postseason over these last few years, but I just don't see it for all the reasons that Noah just outlined there, where you did get 39 minutes from Ant. That's encouraging, right? But he just did not look like himself. It took 13 shots. I didn't think that he looked particularly explosive. As Noah mentioned, he had some problems with the double team. He had 4 turnovers tonight. And then where else are you getting offense? They shot 27% from deep tonight, 39% from the field. And all those perimeter defenders that Noah mentioned, Castle, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Dylan Harper, Champagnie, they make things really difficult for them. And then, if you can't score from the outside, you're probably not scoring because they got a guy named Victor Wembanyama, who was the only unanimous defensive player of the year in NBA history guarding the paint, which makes it an absolute no-fly zone. And just to see what the Spurs are doing here, they're learning in real time how good they can be. Generally, we think, okay, it's one thing to be a good regular season team, but when you have that lack of playoff experience, you have to learn, and it generally takes a couple of years before you advance. Well, the Spurs are way ahead of the curve here, and I would be shocked if this thing goes 7. With the way that they're playing and with the Wolves being hobbled and limited, I think they close it out in Minnesota in 6.
I will say we mentioned the shooting percentage from deep and the field goal, but the real number that stands out is the points in the paint, 68 to 36. If you're not,
well, they don't have anybody in the paint.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Rudy Gobert's not giving you anything. 0 for 4. He's got no interest in all. He's offensively inept. So it's kind of course, the number is going to have this discrepancy. I'm not saying that you were throwing out something obvious.
No, I wasn't in the paint. Don't yell at me. It's not my fault.
Yeah, don't blame the messenger.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah, no, it's just so frustrating.
Appreciate you guys. It is, and I'm sure T-Wolves fans are frustrated. So let's see, history-wise, when trailing 3-2 in the best of 7. Question mark, of course, for this year, 2024. It was a win. 3 losses, though. So losses outweighing the wins. T-Wolves fans, hold your breath.
It's his answer. We want the Spurs at full strength, okay? That's how we want to win the series. But also, he's been pivotal so far for the Timberwolves. He's scored at least in double figures the last 7 games for them. Been probably the most consistent player outside of Anthony Edwards, especially as he's dealt with those injuries. So his impact in this series is very important. He kind of spoke to it a little bit in that interview with Zora, too, Melo.
Well, he did. I mean, first of all, shout out to Nas for that answer. I mean, we didn't want Wemby to be suspended. We want to see the smoke. We want to see the action. And I think Minnesota wants to see that action and Wemby out there. But he also, you know, he said pain is a weakness that's leaving the body, right? So to me, that tells me where their mentality is at. And that's their MO. They're physical. They're making Wemby work for everything that's out there. They're tough. They walk the walk. They talk the talk. So I love where they at right now. And they're a very confident group. Ant Edwards is back to Ben, Ant back-to-back 30s. So Ant is leading that group ever since he got back into the starting lineup. And Nas, Reed, you mentioned that. Nas he's playing like a starter off the bench, right? So when it comes to his performance and his productivity, he's giving you that. That's the confidence that he's bringing off of that bench for that second unit. So it's beautiful to see Nas just in that mindset. And he took that elbow like a G. So now we back tonight.
And don't remember, he kind of rolled his ankle a little bit, too. Like, he got beat up, basically, essentially, in Game 4, but was able to come back and play the remainder of the game.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this from Minnesota's perspective, we're up, meaning how I feel about this series. One, because we frustrated your best player, and we got him out of character, right? So I feel good about what we have been doing. Now, we haven't been shooting the ball, and I'm talking about we. They haven't been shooting the ball in particularly well, but, you know, this is a physical team, right? And the way they play is they beat you up, and hopefully this series prolongs, and they have the strength and the stamina to win a 6 or 7 game series. So that's their mantra. That's what they live by. They've been here, you know, the last 2-3 years. They know what it takes to get to the Western Conference Finals, whereas San Antonio, I'm not saying they're young and experienced. This is a very good team, and they can win a championship this year. But they still learning on the fly. So I like where Minnesota is. I like that they have Wemby frustrated, and let's see how he approaches the game today.
That was great analysis. Whose day is this today? Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
ABC.
The best analysis of the day.
I wanted to break that down. That was great analysis. Right there. Happy birthday. We're going to let you get out of here without letting the people know. You know? We talk about Minnesota, though?
Minnesota.
But no, more brownies for you. No more.
I'm going to be so nice to him the rest of the night.
We had to let the people know. But, you know, I agree with everything you guys are saying. I love Nas's approach. And one thing he said is, like, when he's playing the 3, he's a problem because he has the ability to post up. He has the ability to play fast. And he has a pretty darn good handle to where he can get to what they need. So Minnesota's ability to play different lineups is a matchup problem. The problem is, can they stop that other guy on the other end? And how do you do that? I think tonight, you can't give Wemby the same dose, meaning the same look. You can't give, he needs to see different bodies, from Nas to Rudy to McDaniels. I even throw a smaller guard on there just to throw him off and to continue to frustrate him. Because if Rudy's not on the court, because of frustration, you give yourselves a chance to win.
Meanwhile, if you're Wemby and you're coming back into this game, obviously you left with frustration. He's a young player, but he's always been poised, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is the first time that we've really seen him shaken. So I'm just curious, what's the mentality or the thought process he should have coming into this game?
I don't think he was shaken. I think he got caught in the moment. And this is playoff basketball. He's inexperienced when it comes to that. He's a young star in this league. But these last 48 hours, I'm sure Wemby just sat there and watched his elbow for 48 hours straight, right? And also, we talking about a young player who was so much poised. The fact that Pop got to meet him at the airport, like Popovich meeting him, like coming to talk to him, don't worry about it, this is what you got to do, you shouldn't have did this, but hey, this is how we move forward. To me, it's the support system that he have around him. And he's also smart enough to know, okay, I messed up, I made this move. But y'all not going to punk me either. So I put myself on the line and let you guys know that you're not going to punk me. I know how you guys want to play. But now let's play basketball because the elbow is out the way.
Those are like the highs and lows that we've seen from Wemby so far in this playoffs, too. I mean, he's dealt with a little bit of everything. We've seen the concussion. I mean, 39-point game to being ejected in a game. He's seen it all.
He's getting a front row view of what it's like to be a superstar in the league and a superstar for your team.
Yeah.
That's what happens. The defenses are predicated on frustrating you, finding ways to either get you out of the game, off the floor, or somewhat out of the series. So he has, the regular season is one way you can play your way through it, but when you come to playoff series and you move round to round, it gets tougher, and the defenses play more physical because they feel like, what advantage? You have all of the advantages. What advantage do we have? We have to play physical with you to get you out of your game.
I'm just looking for a Game 3 type performance from Wemby. He has it on his mind, and I trust.
For sure.
Okay.
From the beginning,
I'm looking for.
Yes.
From the beginning.
So a 39-point, 15-rebound, 5-block game from Wemby. All right, we'll turn our attention back to tonight's game shortly, but first we have to pause on what has become a very sad day in the NBA. Game